Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. So like I said in the Wildlands review, most developers are now opting for the open world experience. And that's no different for now Guerrilla Games apparently, with their latest installment, Horizon Zero Dawn, a big change of pace coming from the great Killzone series that personally my childhood was pretty much Killzone 1 split screen on the snow map. I remember that perfectly, such a great series. Anyway, this led to a lot of people's expectations not being that good since they are hopping over to a completely different genre than they're used to. But on the other hand, people trusted Guerrilla Games, and before we start, let me just go ahead and say that in my opinion, though it's not a perfect game, they did do an absolutely amazing job with this game. So let's start by talking about the most noticeable thing, which is obviously the open world. So does this game do anything new to the genre? Well, to be honest, no, not really. It's an open world action kind of RPG game, and that does a great job of being, well, just that, an open world action RPG kind of game. But not necessarily anything new, and to be honest, it's not a bad thing, because it's best to do something that's already existing the right way than trying to invent something new and screwing it all up. It's kind of a bit like Assassin's Creed when it comes to exploration, Ubisoft kind of open world, a lot of collectibles, climb towers, which in this case is moving tall necks to unlock more of the map, a nice number of side quests that aren't too bad but after a while do feel like the typical tracking and fetching kind of quests. The world is filled with tribes, hub areas, and even religions that really do bring the world to life. One of the things I do love about the world though is that it's absolutely huge, and it has a massive variety in sceneries, from deserts to snowy fields to dense forests to rocky areas to mountains, and to be honest they transition into each other really nicely, and all while looking absolutely fantastic. And that brings us to the graphics. This is possibly one of the best looking consoles game out there, alongside maybe Uncharted 4. Though obviously capped at 30 FPS for both PS4 and PS4 Pro, it does a lot with these 30 FPS. Pretty much anywhere you go there are trees moving, particles, bushes, and like I said, looking absolutely perfect. The world is really immersive and you can get lost in this world for hours without even knowing it. Like any high budget game, the sound and voice acting is great, except maybe a few times it could have been a bit better and maybe not as great when it comes to the side quest dialogue, but overall it is really well done. The sound effects are good, but maybe when you're using certain headphones you can't quite pinpoint where some noises are coming from. You can obviously tell they're coming from left to right, but it's not exactly as good as it could be, but still nothing too serious. Gameplay and combat are fun overall. Not having a lock on makes melee something that personally I never got around to using that much, except maybe for the stealth kills. And ranged works really well in this game, so most of the time it's just fine to go with ranged. Crafting is also a pretty big deal in this game, but luckily it's not really a burden like in other games since the resources are pretty much scattered along pretty much any path you take. As for enemies, there are a great variety of robot type enemies, which are the most common and more important ones. All these come with weak spots and attacks, and since some of them can one or two shot you most of the time, it makes you kind of plan an attack using various mechanics at your disposal, like rope traps, luring them over to sneak kill, or even overriding them to make them your allies. On the other hand, we have the less important humanoid type enemies that aren't exactly the smartest AI in gaming, but still, it gives the game a bit of variety, and to be honest you won't be coming across these enemies all that much. For the most part you will be spamming the roll button since it is clearly the best and pretty much the only way to dodge. And yeah, that brings us to the final and for me the strongest point in this game, which is the story. So unlike the side quests, the story missions are very interesting and very deep at sometimes you don't expect it. From investigating tribes to finding out what the hell is going on and how the hell the world ended up in this state. And with a very interesting conclusion, I must say. So yeah guys, Horizon Zero Dawn is a must buy if you own a PS4 and could well be one of the best open world games in the past years. Horizon Zero Dawn is now available for PS4. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please go like and subscribe. Remember you can follow me on Twitter, and we will see you next time guys.